New Thought Media Network proudly presents The High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour with Reverend Cynthia and Reverend Skip. Fridays at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the High Vibe Hour. I'm Rev Skip.
And I'm Reverend Cynthia.
Yes, you is. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. But you got to stop wearing that hat. I get little hat envy. I love that hat. I love your hat.
I think I'm going to need a whole closet just for my hats now. I want to start a collection.
How many of those hats do you have, sis?
I think I'm up to 3 right now.
Oh my goodness. It's amazing. I still haven't gotten my first one yet. I want to get my first one. It is so good on you. You look good. You look
Thank
happy.
you.
Feeling today. How you feeling?
Almost like I'm walking on a cloud. Feeling very, very good, very light.
Please tell more. Tell us more. Tell us more. What's going on?
You know, sometimes it's like we do this work, right?
I love it. I love it.
But it's when I see people have breakthroughs where they are accessing more of themselves. Like, for example, this week, a client that I've been working with for 5 years, who was like borderline atheist, I believe.
Ooh, okay.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, came during our session, said, I think I'm really starting to have experiences of spirit. And
my God. Wow.
And I'm beginning to feel like I too am loved and supported. So she made my day, my year, my decade.
Made everything. And you, I love that. That is so amazing.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. You know, my feeling the vibe this week has been one of very interesting things that are going on. We've been talking about this for a while. When you don't take time to rest, the body self-corrects.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been very interesting. And I don't know if it's a good thing, but I know it's a demonstration of work. And here's what happens. I've been going through a little bit of feeling kind of, you know, like something's coming on, a little cold, a little this, a little that, this, and this. And whenever it starts to come up, I go right into treatment and it goes away. And then I go right back to my normal time. And then it starts to come up again. I go into treatment. It goes away. So we've been playing this little dance with my body temple.
Yeah.
But we've been having this conversation for how long now? For the last like 3 weeks about rest and retreat and doing all the things we need to do to take care of the body. So I'm in this place of a dance right now, which is not a bad thing. It just is a thing. You know what I'm saying? It just is a thing.
And that's the thing, right? Our bodies are trying to speak to us and we're learning how to speak its language.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So my feeling the vibes this week has been still creating the space for me to kind of enjoy life.
Yes.
I did do something last week and I went out dancing.
Did
and
you?
I haven't been dancing in a very long time. And one of my favorite record companies, Defected Radio, shout out to Defected, was in town. And one of their brands is called Glitterbox. It's like old school, new school disco. And I went out dancing with friends. I hadn't been out dancing in so long.
Wow.
And part of that for me was being out there. We were having so much fun. Friends I hadn't seen since I had left, went to Florida and came back. So some friends I hadn't seen for 4 years.
Wow.
We still, we text, that friendship, you still text, you're still connected, but we haven't been on the dance floor together dancing. It was wonderful. I had a beautiful, beautiful time, but it was also daylight savings time.
Uh-huh.
So the next day I was like so tired. I went out dancing the night before. Then it was daylight savings time. I went, okay, yeah, Yeah. You can't do this every weekend like I used to do. But it
Yeah.
was great getting out there. We decided that we're going to go out again. I think April once a month. It's great to go out dancing. April 4th, I think it's this Friday night. We're going to go see another DJ that's in town. So that's part of enjoying life for me. It fills me up,
Yes.
and I'm really excited about that. So yeah. So I've been working. on creating a space of enjoying life.
I love that, Skip. And when we dance, it's like we step out of time, right? And to me, there's a lot of regeneration that gets to occur when we're stepping out of time.
Yeah. I love that. How are you feeling your vibes? What is your vibe feeling this week? What's been good for you? Or maybe not so good.
And everything has been pretty good, but it's almost like really, really good. Yesterday, I was writing about, or I was reflecting on dreams that I had had as a kid, or how easily I would step into things that I wanted to experience as a child, like being a botanist, and then immediately going outdoors, exploring plants, being a superhero, right, and dressing up. It's like anything I wanted to do as a kid was accessible like that to me, right?
I love it. I
And
love it.
and so there was just like this availability to those dreams are still present, and that child is still here to lead you
Mm,
and show you the way.
mm. That reminds me of George Washington Carver.
Uh-huh.
When he was a child, he used to get into the feeling of the earth, and he fell in love, and he just knew that he was going to till the earth and be a part of plants and all his life. That's where he began as a child.
I think that there are clues within our childhood as to what it is that we are here to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you actually, well, in Vegas, you have a garden in Vegas?
Do you know that I actually just last week, since we can't really grow things here, I went and I bought pots, and then I ordered trees and flowers. And so now I have beautiful greenery in my patio.
I love it. If there's a will, there's a way, yo. And you just did like, okay, I'm gonna. So, what kind of tree? What kind of tree did you buy?
So I bought the Rose of Sharon tree, which is sacred to the times of Yeshua, right?
Yes.
They make oils, sacred oils out of that rose. So that's one of them. I bought lavender, of course, because it's very soothing with its aroma.
Mm.
I bought these beautiful, colorful flowers. I took my husband with me to Home Depot. He bought chilies and vegetables. So I don't care what they say about what's possible to grow here in Vegas. We're doing it. We're doing it.
You're doing it. You're doing. I just, it's so funny. I meant to say this last week to you, Rev. When you say my husband, because so long you were with Jesse, and it
Yes.
wasn't. It was my partner. And whenever
Yes.
you say my husband, I always have to go, oh, that's right, she's married.
Do you remember you were there when Jesse and I first started dating, and we were in classes, and you're like, "Oh no, we have to separate you two."
Yes, I was like, no, y'all, you were having so much fun, living your best life. And I love that, that works. I took my husband with me, which is such a sacred, statement. Say, I took my husband. Where'd you go? Home Depot?
We went to Home Depot, and he just wasn't seeing my vision. He was like, "You can't do that here." And I said, "Just come with me. Come with me."
I love it. I love it. It's so powerful. How are you doing okay, so I am still in the midst of the Amazon blackout.
Okay.
I'm not buying anything from Amazon. It's been a wonderful experience, but yet very challenging
Yes, it is.
because I'm like, oh, I need some vitamins. And I just went into mode. I went, oh, no, I got to now go and find my vitamins. So when we're done this recording, this live podcast, I'm going out. I'm going to drive over to, I think it's Mother's, or I think it's one of their Sprouts has
Oh,
my wellness vitamins. Because
yes.
normally I just go to Amazon and go, wellness, and they're here in less than 6 hours.
Yeah. I I was looking at while I was executing, right?
Yep.
Like my remake of the patio with the
Mhm.
greenery. I started looking at the pots online at first. And so we ended up going to I believe we went to TJ Maxx, and I could not believe
Okay.
like the beautiful ceramic pots that I ended up finding. So yeah, it's like resisting the urge to do it the easy way and allowing ourselves to go out and actually enjoy it,
Yeah.
the shopping.
I saw this thing, I think I shared with you, was on Instagram, and this woman was explaining how, she broke up with Amazon. And again, we're not telling you to break up with Amazon, but we're telling you what the experience is. People are going, okay, we're going to, we're going to vote with our money. We're going to have a protest with the dollars that and where we're going to spend. More importantly about this, the woman shared, it wasn't about really breaking up with Amazon. It was about re-engaging in her community.
Yeah.
So she stopped at the apothecary that she's never gone to, lived in the neighborhood for 20 years and never went to that apothecary.
Mhm.
And they got to be friends. The pharmacist and her got to be friends. Went to her neighborhood hardware store, and they became friends. So
Mhm.
she's sharing how this whole thing of convenience has isolated us.
Yes.
There's this incredible experience of getting to know our neighbors in our neighborhood, places that we live. So that's been pretty wonderful, really getting out and getting out of the habit of just instantaneous gratification.
And do you know that I don't know when this happened, but I almost developed like social anxiety uh,
Mhm.
because we had been isolated for so long. So I didn't like going to the store. I don't. People are in a hurry. I don't like feeling rushed. That energy of rush behind me. So I have had to be very intentional as we go out into the stores and not allow my energy to feel overwhelmed, even if other people are in a hurry. Like reacclimating to being out more.
Wow. 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 Part of this, I believe it's still this whole, we're still living the aftermath. Now, I'm not saying this pandemic is not over yet because there's
Mhm,
still stuff that's happening out there. But I'm going to say the aftermath of a forced isolation,
mhm.
because that's what it was. It wasn't the pandemic that we were like, but we were in a forced isolation for years.
Yes, yes,
So
4 years.
getting back into community after forced isolation is going to be time. Listen. If I could have taken stock out in these online companies that I was using, ooh,
I
ooh,
I think it's like it was a blessing, right? That even though we were on lockdown, we did have the option to have groceries delivered to be able to shop online.
right.
But I think now the invitation is to begin to re-engage, right, with people, with our community, with humanity.
Because we were meant to be together.
Yes.
We weren't meant to isolate.
Mm-mm.
I mean, our teachings teach us that we are the unique emanation of the one, but we're still the one. So
Mhm.
we're still to share our uniqueness, to share our divine beauty, how spirit shows up as us, to intermingle because we're intra connected to everything.
Mhm.
So when we're in the isolation, we're in the I can do it by myself, but that's the ego telling you a lie. You can't do it by yourself.
You can't, nor is it that time anymore. Perhaps at a certain time it was appropriate for us to do things on our own, but I
Yeah.
believe that we're entering a time where collaboration will be the emphasis.
Say that again, please.
We're entering a new age, right? We're entering the age of Aquarius. We're evolving as a species, and during this time we are meant to collaborate. We don't have to do things on our own anymore.
Mm. I love that. I love that. We do have some people on we need to say good morning to. Hey, Denise. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Marianne. Thank you for joining us today. And everyone else that's on that's watching the High Vibe Hour here on the New Thought Media Network. Thank you for joining us, y'all. We love you. And today we're talking about, we're calling it the work episode, the work and the right livelihood um episode. And what I love about this is because we all have our careers, we all have our stories at work, we all have our our Right Livelihood. Some people know it, some people don't know it. So our heart wisdom today is all about that.
Mhm.
So Rev, what was your very first job? What was your very first job?
You're going to laugh and maybe be I don't know. So when I was around 14 and a half, I met a group of like 18-year-olds, and that's
Yeah.
who I began hanging around with. And these women, some of these women were working at a sex phone operator office. And all they said to me was like, "Do you want to make some money?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." So
Yeah.
they took me to work with them, right? And I listened to them working. There were like
Yeah.
phone booths, and there was a manager in the corner. It was a building in downtown LA on 3rd and Spring.
Okay.
And I worked for about a week, trying it, right? Knowing nothing about sex, right?
Right, right. You can say the word here. We can say because yeah, we can say it.
But I couldn't believe it when I got my first check, and it was like 300 and something. And this was back like in 1982, right?
Ooh, girl, you rich.
Right? I bought clothes for the first time on my own. But I remember after like the Monday that evening, and we were walking to our cars, the manager was walking with us, and he goes, "You know, I have to fire you, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just wanted to see how long I could do this."
Oh my god. What was the reason why he fired you, Rev?
Because I
What's
was
the reason?
terrible. I was terrible at my job. I didn't know anything about what was recorded.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I love it. I love it. Oh my god.
What was your first job?
My first job was pretty typical. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you had it on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, we had a fast food restaurant called Geno's Fried Chicken, and it was bought by Kentucky Fried Chicken. So Geno's and Kentucky Fried Chicken in New Jersey, and I was one of the fry cooks.
Oh, wow.
And in my very first job in high school, I worked at Geno's. Before I even got to high school, I worked at Geno's Fried Chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and for a whole summer, I would come home smelling like fried grease.
Oh, my.
Even to this day, when if I, by chance do anything in fast food and I smell it, I'm like, oh, that's my Geno's days. And there'll be so much chicken at the end of the night that we were able to take as much chicken as we wanted home. And I got so much chicken at one point, I was like sick of it. Like halfway through the summer, it's like, oh, I don't even want to eat any chicken. I don't want to eat any, it was, but one of the things I love about my first job, it really taught me, I got excited about making my own money.
Yes. Mhm.
I got excited about, going to work every day and, making the money.
Mhm.
The next summer, I did a much better job for me. I was putting up beach chairs on the beach and umbrellas.
Wow. Where?
In Atlantic City, New Jersey. We 3 blocks away from the beach. So I used to walk to work every day. I had the greatest summer. It was
Wow.
amazing. We had a great time. Great
I
summer.
love that. That sounds like the
So
perfect job for a teenager.
the perfect job. I had so much fun. So, in this idea of your job and your work, how have you grown through this experience of what you're doing now to make money?
So, first of all, I spent 28 years, right, from the age of 19 to I think 43,
Mhm.
in the legal industry, starting off as a receptionist,
Wow.
right, at a law firm in Beverly Hills, working my way up, becoming a paralegal, eventually becoming the office manager for the law firm. Um, and when I started taking classes, when I met you at Agape,
Mm,
I started to feel like a sense of this isn't what I meant to do forever, right? To stay in the
mhm.
legal field. And I would have sessions with my practitioner, and he would tell me when the time is right, spirit will come and lift you out and move you. Like, don't try to force things to happen. And so that job was funding and providing for me while I was matriculating through classes at Agape, all the way through, halfway through ministerial studies, from the beginning of me taking classes to 2018, and we finished ministerial studies in 2020. So it was so interesting because I had wanted out of that job and out of that profession so badly for so long.
Right.
It was one day during the summer of 2018 when I arrived at the office, sat at my desk, put my hands on the keyboard, and I couldn't lift my fingers to type. And I freaked out. I got up, I went to the doctor's office, and they put me on disability, and I never went back. And so then there was the natural fear around, what am I going to do for money? Right?
Yeah.
And so my girlfriend was turning 50. She wanted me to go to Paris with her. And I said, well, Adrian, I'm having body issues, temple issues. I'm having a hard time walking right now. I said, but I'll come with you.
Yeah.
So we went to Paris, but we also went to Fatima, which is in Portugal. It's a place where the Virgin Mary appeared to 3 children in the early 1900s. And it's known for people going there that are asking for miracles. And they walk on their knees from the beginning of the path all the way to like the stairs of the church. I didn't do that. I walked it like regularly, right? But I said to God at that time, I said, if you want me to continue at this job, then can you give me a body to do it in? And if not, then show me what's next.
Yeah.
So when we came back from that trip, I got a phone call from the insurance company that had been investigating my medical history. And they said, we have concluded that you are disabled. And so from this point forward, you will receive 75% of your salary until you are 75.
Oh, wow.
So for me, that was God saying, I want you to focus on ministerial studies.
Yeah.
Right. For the remainder of the time, I will take care of you. Just keep doing what you're here to do.
Wow. That's powerful.
That was how it happened.
Oh my goodness. You know, I mean, I'm just, as you're speaking, I'm remembering this, my journey through this work for me has always been, you know, when I graduated from NYU, I went off and I had an incredible experience, work experience. I went to Europe and I worked for CMT, which is Country Music Television.
Oh my God.
And I taught line dancing, country western line dancing with Colin Farrell. Now, if you ever look up Colin Farrell teaching country western line dancing, there's always a picture of Colin Farrell, and right next to Colin Farrell, there's a picture of me. So I left after graduating from NYU, started working as a professional model dancer. I traveled all over Europe teaching country western line dancing, which was the fad back then in 92, the 90s. And then when I got back, I went into marketing. So I graduated with a film and TV degree, fine arts degree in film and television production. So I started working in marketing, worked in advertising, and I too had that moment of, this is not for me. I had a diagnosis, and at the time, I was diagnosed with HIV, and at the time, it was like, oh, okay. And I heard God say to me, I was in a yoga class, you're either going to stay in New York City and die, or you're going to go to California and change your life. And that's exactly what I did. I changed my life and went to California. I got into fitness. So I started off teaching group fitness, teaching step and high-low and jazzercise and all that. And I found my passion was helping people become healthy. Helping people, and I want to overcome my own diagnosis, and I want to help people to understand that health and fitness was such a very important part of my life. And one of my students is online right now with us. Hey, Lawrence, he's online right now with us. And I realized how much joy it brought me to teach other people. And then I got into personal training. Personal training moved. I found Agape, and I realized, oh, I'm going to be a practitioner. I was going to be a minister, and I knew. And we were going through our own learning of counseling and practitioner training, and I realized, oh, I'm doing the same thing with my personal training clients.
Yeah.
I started to develop this whole entire way of approaching personal training, and I called it spiritual fitness.
Wow.
And so I created a career from, teaching aerobics, personal training, ministerial, to spiritual fitness. I became, very well known in the fitness industry, also into the idea how I was teaching my classes was very much spiritually based. Listen, you can't go to Agape International Spiritual Center and study there and not bring it into the work that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it's been, a ministry. And then right after, I think we graduated in 2020.
That's
in 21, I got the call to go to Florida. Since then, it's just been this whole evolution. And now I'm in North Hollywood Church of Religious Science, a oneness center where I'm the assistant minister. So it has had this natural progression.
Mm-hmm.
This natural progression of finding my livelihood. And livelihood, y'all, means what we were meant to be, what we're meant to do, our passion. It's a difference from what we're making money to our livelihood. What is your livelihood? What is your livelihood, do you believe?
So now I do spiritual counseling, right? For one. I also teach practitioner studies at Agape. That's another one. I now do talks, right, at church, which also, so all of this is like my passion, but it's also providing funds, right? What I've come to realize is that when we come into alignment with our soul and life purpose, the universe bends over backwards to provide us with everything that we need.
When we say yes, the universe says yes to us.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So for me, that wasn't easy. There was a lot of that I had to work through because I did not like attention. I had PTSD from my life, right? Most of the first 38 years of life before I arrived at Agape had been so incredibly difficult. I had to play small. I had to actually hide from the law because my family was being sought, right, by the police and things like that.
Child, you need to at least write another book, because you got a book out there. You need to write a book and sell it and make a movie out of that, a Lifetime movie, child. Ministers taught by the police. Oh my God.
I was in an 18-year marriage or relationship where he was super controlling and jealous. So he wouldn't allow me to have friends. I couldn't look up if we were out in public. He would hold my hand and lead me so that I wouldn't see anyone and no one would see me. This is how I was conditioned, right? For so long. So when I got the call to become a minister, I said, God, anything but that. Please don't make me do that. I can't be in public view. So sometimes our calling is what facilitates our healing.
Yeah. Yeah. How is that affecting you now when you get up and you go to talking, you get to speaking? Do you still have any sense of nerves or any sense of, oh my God, or what happens when you get up to teach? Because you're in the public eye now, yo. You all up in there. You can't be hiding now.
I can't hide anymore.
Rev, you can't hide, Rev.
Right now, like when I notice somebody looking at me, it's like I smile, right? So sometimes there might still be nerves as I'm standing up on stage, perhaps, but spirit is pouring through so powerfully that I lose a sense of the nervousness and I just enter a flow. And so it's a sharing from my heart and from my soul. And then the feedback that I get is always so loving and supportive that it's like confirmation, like, keep doing this, keep sharing.
That is amazing. So good. Hey, listen, y'all, we're going to take a break right now. You're here at the New Thought Media Network. When we come back, Rev, I want to talk to you a little bit more about how can people find their right livelihood? What are the practices that we can do? And because people are saying, well, I want to find my right livelihood. And I want to talk a little bit more about, this idea of we make money this way, but our right livelihood are things that we must continue to do. So y'all will be right back. And yeah, welcome, 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 welcome. If you're just tuning in, you're in the High Vibe Hour here at the New Thought Media Network.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour with Reverend Cynthia and Reverend Skip. Fridays at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the High Vibe Hour here at the New Thought Media Network. And today we're talking about work and our jobs, and we're talking about our livelihood, our right livelihood. And one of the things that I'm very, very clear of, our work is where we make the money. And, money is going to flow anyway. I love that saying. Have you heard that saying, Rev? If you do what you love, you'll never feel like work a day in your life.
Yes.
And I'm all clear that my job is not my source. Thank you, Joel Goldsmith. God is my source. So money is going to flow, but we still have a call to go out to work. We have a call to pay our bills. We have car notes. We have things that, student loans that we're paying off. So I believe the job is a necessity for the flow of money, which is an exchange of energy. It's energy of exchange of services to happen. But then you have your right livelihood, the things that you are called to be, the things you're called to do, your passion. If you could do only one thing left for the rest of your life, that would be your right livelihood. What would it be? So can you explain a little bit more about right livelihood, Rev?
So livelihood truly is. So Reverend Michael, right, the senior director and founder of Agape, has talked about how we didn't come here to get anything from the world. We came here to share our gifts. That's our livelihood right there. Everybody has unique gifts to share. So let's say that, for example, you're still very much in your 9 to 5, but starting to create a space where you're beginning to share your gifts, whether you're generating money through that or not. That's how I started. Right. I started offering workshops, 2.5 hour workshops based on a love donation, a love offering. And it's terrified me. It terrified me to be able to step into the public view in that way. but I had studied long enough and it was time to share what I had learned with people.
Mm, mm.
The first workshop that I offered generated over $2,000
Oh,
based on a love offering. Blew me away. But you
how many
have,
people did you have in your workshop, your first workshop?
I want to say there was probably like 40 plus, just a little bit over 40 people. I posted it on Facebook after getting off of a conscious leadership coaching call. And Dr. Sue said, don't wait until you're ready, because then
Yeah.
otherwise you'll never do it.
Hello.
Right. So what is it that you are inclined? What have you noticed throughout your life? Have people always come up to you and like shared what they were going through with you?
You know, you should be doing this, and you're so good at this. And yeah.
Right? People tend to naturally open up to you, or even watching, if we review your life skip, like you've been being led all along, teaching people how to
Mm,
live healthy, get in their bodies, you've had several things that you've experienced where you have healed from surgeries. Like there's a
mhm.
wealth of wisdom, right?
Right.
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 And it's part of your ministry.
And part of this too, and recognizing this idea for me, I wanted to compartmentalize for so long. Oh, this is ministry over here, and this
Mhm.
is fitness over here. This is this over here. It's all integrated.
Yeah.
And I believe when we're looking to tap into our right livelihood, I always say, what would be if you could only do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Then we can take that energy and that awareness, and then we can tap into a contemplative meditation. So let's do a little practice. Can we do a little practice?
Sure.
So at home, I want y'all to just take a moment. And if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Just be. But take a moment. I want you to close your eyes. I just want you to take a breath. I want you to connect with this space of unconditional love, a space where you feel that you've been held, nurtured, a place where you felt completely immersed in a place of love. Feel this energy, feel this vibration. You can have a memory of it. Be with someone, it could be with some place. And from the space of unconditional love, I want you to answer this question. If there was something that you could only do for the rest of your life, one thing, what would it be? What would that gift be? And continue from this unconditional love with this gift and this one thing that you are here to do for the rest of your life. We begin to ask Spirit to show us, how can this experience, this practice show up and create the opportunity for money to flow? What can I do? How can this gift develop in a way of bringing money through and as me? And we start to get downloads, and we begin to write down into our journals or a piece of paper all these ideas. Take a breath. Big exhale. And slowly open up your eyes. Now, you might not have gotten anything at that moment, or you might have. We continue to do this work over and over again. I call it play work, growth work, fun, the meditation, the discipline, to continue to open ourselves to ideas of what we can do to create an opportunity for money to flow through that one thing that we could do for the rest of our life.
Mhm.
And we stay open to this, and we go back and we do this meditation in the morning, or we do this meditation in the evening, or in the middle of the day. We continue to do it over and over again. These ideas will show up. Ideas will show up. Let's see this here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want to read that? Can you read that, Rev?
So it says from Denise, from the perspective where Rev Skip is my minister at North Hollywood, I can say I felt so comfortable to share with him, and I instantly felt his caring, nurturing energy during a time of spiritual crisis. And just meeting Rev Skip, I called him, I reached out to him. By the way, another great hat, Reverend Cynthia. Thank you, Denise. Thank you.
It's funny. Thank you, Denise. I love you so much. Denise is one of our members at North Hollywood. Here's what I do love about what Denise said. I always know my work is to love people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just in ministry. It just shows up in ministry. It shows up in a space where I'm a teacher. I do guided meditations. I show up, but it's all to help people to connect with love.
Yes.
That's my if I could do anything the rest of my life, it would be a ministry of love, which I guess I'm going to do that for the rest of my life.
I love that, Skip. I absolutely love that.
What came up for you during the meditation? Anything come up?
Do you know I had a flashback of a vision that I got when I was 23. I think it was 1993, right? Nowhere close to this path at that time. And I was stopped at a train track and I was annoyed because I was afraid of being late. And while I was sitting at the train tracks, I had a vision. So at this time I'm 23, but I saw a vision of like a 40-something-year-old version of me. And she was standing at a clear pulpit and there was purple carpet. What does that remind you of? The agape, right?
Agape. That's agape.
So when I arrived at 38 at agape and I saw the clear pulpit and the purple carpet, I like gasped. I was like,
wow,
this place exists. So I just had a flashback of that when you're asking, like, if you had only one thing to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And
that
I
would
had
be it.
Mm-hmm.
So in this Right Livelihood kind of development, people finding their passion, what would you tell people? How would they really know that they're passionate about something? When you hear the word passion, what comes up for you in your own experience of passion? What has come up for you in this word of passion, inspiration?
There's a level of excitement that I instantly become aware of when I hear something, somebody presents an opportunity to me, perhaps, right? Or there's an opportunity that shows up. There's a level of excitement. There might also be fear because I may not have done it before.
Yeah.
But that excitement is what clues me into like, oh, I would love to do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's powerful.
So paying attention to that energy that bubbles up from within.
And there's also this fiery energy as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fiery energy, I believe, because passion for me feels like a fire, an energy, a high vibration. I also look at passion as this. What do you go to bed thinking about? What do you wake up in the morning thinking about? That is your passion. I go to bed thinking about ministry and wake up thinking about ministry.
Say for me, and imagine, so let me flash back to the opposite of that, right? Going to bed thinking about work, all the cases I was handling, and then wake up, but that did not feel good.
So you're saying we get to equate the feeling tone. I hear you, Rev, the feeling tone to what we're doing. The feeling tone, we will know that we're not doing the thing that we're supposed to be doing because of how we feel.
Yes.
Our feeling is a message. And listen, y'all, if you're watching this and then later on, I know we have more views. We have, people who view this, hundreds of people who are viewing this later on. If you're watching this live or you're viewing this, we ain't telling you to go quit your job.
No.
I am not telling you to go quit your job. But I also know that your feeling will tell you that you're in alignment with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The feeling will tell you, oh, this is in alignment. Here's the other thing too. If you feel drained, that's an indication that might not be what you're supposed to be doing. See, we believe in a world of infinite possibilities. Therefore, the infinite possibilities mean that you can release what no longer serves, part of
Mhm.
the visioning process by Michael Bernard Beckwith, or you can embrace what is serving you. The feeling tone will tell you. Another way I realize I'm doing stuff that I don't want to do is when I have to show up for work and I'm going, right, a year before I left Florida,
Mhm.
and I knew I was called to be in ministry, but at the time I was walking away from it. I was like, I'm done. I just, I think I even called you a week later. I said I resigned. I
Yes.
knew it was time for me to resign when I was driving into the parking lot. I just got back from Bali. I had met Eva Giroux, and she was really in my head. She was saying, and I kind of knew, I want to say this, I kind of knew going into Bali, I was going to get a clear indication if I was going to stay at the church in North Hollywood, or excuse me, no. The church in Florida, in
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale. I know I'm saying North Hollywood. I'm saying North Hollywood. I knew coming back, I would have a clear indication. So the Sunday, I had landed on the Saturday. I was speaking on that Sunday.
Wow.
I was driving into the parking lot and I was like, I don't want to be here. I had a
Mhm.
feeling of heaviness, dread. I was in tears. I had to take a moment, stop in the parking lot, get myself together before walking into the experience of preaching that Sunday. Now, here's the thing. There was a lot of things that was leading up to it. I can give you so many different reasons why Spirit was saying, thank you, your lesson's done. And that's what I heard, because everything is not for naught. I was
Mhm.
there to learn, but the lesson was coming to an end. And I was free to have the freedom to go, this lesson is done.
Mhm.
Thank you, Spirit. This lesson is done.
I love that because a long time ago when I was studying with a Native American woman in Sedona, and
Mm,
it was 2004, I believe. And she said that spirit uses everything, every single experience that you have had, I don't care what it is, spirit will put to use. So nothing that you have been through goes to waste. Nothing, nothing. Whether it's professional experiences, whether there are personal experiences, spirit finds a way to put it all to use. So I love that. You said there were things that I was there to learn. Now,
mm.
there is a shamanic astrologer in Sedona as well, John Dumas. I don't know if you've encountered him yet.
No, I have not. I would love to.
So I saw he was one of the first practitioners I saw in 2002, and he was reading my astrology chart, and he said, "Oh, you're all about experiencing freedom." He goes, "And you were supposed to have left your marriage here." And then he would flip the page and he goes, "And here." And he flipped the page and he did that like 11 times. So he said, "You've overstayed your stay in the marriage by like 11 years." And we do that sometimes with our jobs as well, right?
See, I always tell people, if you're going to go see a spiritual healer, a medicine woman, medicine man, an astrologer, you better be ready.
Yeah.
You just prepare.
And it took me another 2 years to get up the courage to walk away from the marriage.
Yeah.
And then it took me another couple of years to leave that particular job that I was in of managing the law firm.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Some of the listeners that are online right now, I want you to drop into the feed, maybe a comment about you knowing that you are doing the right thing, or maybe you're looking to shift and your experience, drop into the feed. This is interaction. We love interacting with you. The other thing too is one of the things that came out of that first experience is I was very nervous my first trip to Bali.
Yes.
I always knew that I wanted to create spiritual retreats, and I have been doing it for a while in Florida. I've been doing it a while in the centers. That's part of my gift, to create a retreat experience. Going to Bali was my very first time taking people on a trip to Bali. I had done local trips. I had gone to, different places, but to really go to Bali, and we had 25 people to get on a plane and land in Bali, and I facilitated the whole entire 10 days in Bali. That I was scared. Can't say it on this spiritual network, but I was scared the
Yes.
the BS out of me.
And how did you feel during, and how did you feel after?
I I had a simultaneous experience of fear and empowerment.
Mhm,
The fear was in my space of my head. What if they don't like this, or what if this doesn't go right? That's the what if fear. But
mhm.
my heart was saying, I got you. And whenever I listened to my heart, it was like, I'm in the right space. It was probably one of the most successful retreats I had done, with
Mhm.
25 people going to Bali. And I also realized, oh, this is part of the spiritual thing that I want to do for the rest of my life. If
Yes.
I could, minister at a community, which I am at, North Hollywood, and create spiritual retreats all over the world and take people all over the world, write my books
Mhm.
for the rest of my life, boom, it doesn't feel like work.
So tell me that God is not intelligent, in that it had you experience a retreat that provided you the clarity to take action for next steps.
You know,
And you
you know,
cannot, and so now because you have that as your foundation, you've been prepared to facilitate the same for others.
yeah, yeah.
So that
Speaking
they
of that, we're creating a retreat for July 13th through the 24th. We're going back to the Bali community that we're in. We have a partner. His name is Cricket Matheson. We love you, Cricket, and he watches afterwards because he's like 19 hours ahead of us right
yes.
now. So he'll watch later on, like tomorrow. And he's our partner, and he creates the whole entire experience for us. We create the spiritual, and we fill the trip, and everything's done in luxury. So he's taking care of this. But I realized that he's someone I want to work with.
Yes.
And the way it was done, the way it's done, this trip is so incredibly easy for everyone who's participating.
So
This is easy.
it's easy. And so I laugh because a few years ago, like 3 years ago, I said, all right, I'm going to stop fighting you, spirit. I'm a blanket yes for whatever you want me to do. And can you make it easy for me?
Girl, I don't know if you remember, but you and I had created a retreat business. And then the pandemic happened. Remember that? I
Yes.
forgot the name of it. We were visioning. We were going to create retreats. We had the name. We had the logo. And then the pandemic happened, and it
Yeah.
was like, okay, we both were travel agents at the time. Remember, we
Yeah.
both we were ready. We were ready to go, and the pandemic happened. It was like, not yet. We
Right.
both were going to Bali with our publisher for a writers retreat, and it was like, oh, the pandemic said, no, no, no. She said, not now.
Not now, but then when you reached out to me, so this has been a lifelong dream, right? To lead
Yep.
retreats, to provide spaces where people can heal and transform.
Yep.
Um, and then it happens so easily. You give me a call and you're like, would you like to lead a retreat to Bali? And I was like, yeah, well, yes, I would. I would.
Yeah, it is that easy. It was that easy, and it was from meditation, because Cricket was like, well, you have friends, you have other ministers who want to create a retreat. Who do you know? And I said, oh, let me call a few people. We have another colleague. Her name is Cindy
Mhm.
Ellison. That's in Utah, who runs a church, and I need to follow up with a call for her, because she wants to do a trip. But there are people who want to do trips to Bali. But the one I really, really want us to talk about is this trip that's coming up. It's filling up. People are coming forward. They're going, I want to go to Bali with you. How Tell me about, number one, how are you feeling about this trip to Bali? Number two, how can
Mhm.
people reach out to you about the information time that we're having coming up this Friday?
So we're going to have a Zoom information call this Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. And just send me an email at that cindy.ambries@gmail.com, and I will forward the Zoom link, an invitation to you. It's an opportunity for you to speak with myself, with Skip and Cricket, get to know Cricket, and you're instantly going to realize like how well he does at taking care of you. So if you want to have an experience of being taken care of while in
Yes.
the lap of luxury,
Yes.
and the beauty of Bali, this trip is for you.
It's a powerful time. It's a powerful time. And if you can't make July, there's this follow-up trip we're doing in March.
March.
So you might be able to go into March with us for a very special sacred ceremony. It's a sacred holiday called Nippy, and Nippy is a time of silence. It's a full day, but we're going to go to the temples. But this trip here is for you in July, but we're doing another trip. So reach out to us. Absolutely. I'm just so grateful that we get to do this together,
Mhm.
continue to play together, and this is going to be really exciting.
Right. So none of this could have happened. None of the things that we have experienced could happen if we had stayed in fear and in our old lives.
Absolutely.
So what small
Absolutely.
steps, right, can you begin to take in your life, whether it's simply offering a book club, a free workshop, but just start to begin to step into what
Yeah.
you're called to.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, these times and this hour goes by too quickly. It's the high vibe hour. So next thing you know, I'm waking up, I'm going, oh, look at time it is. It's absolutely freaking amazing. I want to
Amazing.
announce something really amazing. This week at Insight Timer, I just launched my 4th course for Insight Timer. It's called Transform Your Life with Affirmations and Mantras. It's exclusively on Insight Timer. So it's the app, the meditation app. If you have a smartphone, you can get on Insight Timer. Look for it. Just look up Rev Skip Jennings. It's a 5-day course, and each course is no more than 10 minutes. And we talk about the power of our word, our affirmations and mantras. Mantras are sacred words. We speak tones and sounds. It reminds us of the divine. And then affirmations, it's affirmative words about ourselves. So this is a great opportunity. We just launched a couple of days ago. So I'm very excited to announce that. Also, you can still get a copy of the little book for big transformation on Amazon. And as we're doing an Amazon blackout, maybe you want to wait until after the end of the month. We're going back to Amazon, or you can reach out to me directly and I can do a signed copy for the book. You just go to revskipjennings@gmail.com. You're able to get your signed copy. And also, like we were saying, we have a trip going to Bali. Just reach out to Reverend Cynthia, find out more information about that. Here's the price. Here it is right here. We want you on this trip. Rev Cynthia, tell us about your book.
And so you don't have to go to Amazon to get it. You can get it on Barnes and Noble. I believe that you can even order it from Target. Just Google Life Finds a Way by Cynthia Ambrose online, and it'll show you all the different options of where you can get the book. But the book talks about like the impact. It talks about my healing journey, all the different things I've done to heal. So it would help you if you're looking to step into
It,
your purpose.
it will definitely help you. It will definitely help you. Hey, Rev, where are you minister at? You are at?
Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living. So if you're ever in Vegas and you want a break from the gambling and the partying, come.
The gambling and the partying. I love that. And everyone, I'm at the North Hollywood Church of Religious Science, a oneness center. And you can go to nhcrs.org, find out about the Wednesday Wake Up. We're doing a Wednesday service. I can't wait till you're in town on a Wednesday, Rev. And
Yeah.
it reminds us of the Wednesday that was on Buckingham with Agape. So we do chanting, music, we sing, I give a talk. Sometimes I'm doing sound bowl. Healing. Sometimes they do a sound bath. It's a lot of incredible fun. And I
Wow.
invite you to check out that information. Also, my dear friends, if you are being, blessed by this time, and we want you to donate to the New Thought Media Network, just go to ntmedia.org/donate. Support, because this is a ministry. We're doing this as a ministry, and you can always find out more of how you can do a direct donation to myself and to Rev Cynthia by going to our website. This has been so much fun.
It really has. As you start to step into your life purpose, it doesn't feel like work.
Wow. I love that. I love that. All right, y'all. Well, we'll be back next week. We'll be what my mom used to say. We'll be here next week if the rain don't something and the sun don't shine. I can't remember that thing. I just gave to my if the flood don't happen and the rain, whatever. I don't know. That's a Rebecca Jennings thing. But we will be here next
We will be here. So
we'll see you next week. Make sure you all just be kind because this world needs kindness right now. We love you. We love you. Love you. Remember, transformation is a choice you
yeah.
chose today because you dropped in here. Until next week, we love you.
Peace and blessings.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents The High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour with Reverend Cynthia and Reverend Skip. Fridays at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Only on New Thought Media Network.